Hi, it's George Nordhaus, and today I'm talking to one of our major presenters, and as a matter of fact, one of the major consultants that we recommend highly, and that's Al Diamond of Agency Consulting Group over in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, but all around the world at the same time. Al, let's take a look at your biography so that they know a little bit of who you are there. You are president of Agency Consulting Group in Cherry Hill. You've been involved with the American Association of Insurance Management Consultants, and I helped, I worked with you totally in there, as much as we could. You published a pipeline, which is we send the pipeline, and we make sure that all IMM members get the IMMS members get the pipeline, and it's a great monthly newsletter. If you haven't seen it, or you're getting it, and you're ignoring it, don't, because we think it's one of the finest ones ever. At any rate, Al's very, very busy, but kind enough to help us and constantly. So let's talk about what we're going to talk about today, Al, the future, automation, where it goes, what we're going to do. You're the man.
Okay. Well, first of all, we recently wrote an article that was the cause of this conference on client services, what we can expect in the 21st century. And I'm not talking about 30 or 40 years from now when we'll all be doing other things. I'm talking about in the next 5 or 10 years. Things are moving within our agency system, and our automation is changing out from under us. If we don't change with it, we're going to vanish. And what's happening is that independent agents over the last 200 years, first mechanically, manually, then mechanically, and finally through automated means, over the past 30 years, have basically been processing shops. We have serviced clients. We've submitted applications, we've processed changes, we've turned in claims, and we've done renewals. And we're trying to process while our producers and owners are trying to manage the relationships and grow those relationships with our accountants. Well, things are changing, and we would like to make everyone aware of how they're changing in the 21st century. '47 web portals for processing and updating account information. And what's happening is that in many cases they're actually bypassing the agent, and that's a deficiency for the insurance companies, and they're not thinking about what happens to the agents. What they're looking at is if the agents are smart enough to move along with the automation that is progressing as we go more and more broadband, that's great. If the agents don't progress with them, they'll write it direct. And
Al, I think that point, the second point on this slide, is absolutely the most vital point that I've seen made anywhere about the future of what's going on, bypassing the agent. Once the agent just got to understand that, but let's go forward. I'm really impressed with that point.
But it truly is not a negative thing for the insurance companies. They're not doing this to do anything to the agency system. What they're saying is we have to use the most efficient ways possible of getting our work done with our clients. If the agents go along with it, that's great. If not, we have other ways of doing it. Right. And the evidence of that is how many companies out there are now in the process of both writing direct and writing through agents. They're going to seek the path of least resistance to get as many customers and do it as efficiently as possible.
Excellent point.
So what we're seeing is that things are changing. Within our agency system, I'm not telling anyone anything they don't already know. Our service staff is diminishing. We have great insurance agents. We have knowledgeable insurance agents. We're still trying to grow them. But the CSRs, the account executives, the folks who are doing the processing are getting more difficult to get. The CSRs are changing. The ones that are really good are changing from policy processors to relationship managers. Now, from filing claims, we want them to relate to the clients.
A trend in that direction and that the CSR you hire now doesn't has some other qualifications necessary to fit that point number 2 there.
Absolutely. And in the automation process itself, we have the 2 major players, AMS and Applied, both heavily pushing their ASP systems. Now, the ASP, the 24/7 systems, the full service systems, upload, but everything is done over the internet. They're still offering the in-house systems to the agents, but I expect in 5 or 10 years you'll find that a little bit harder to find. And the ASP systems are their answer to what the insurance companies are doing from the standpoint of establishing web portals.
I think your 5 or 10 years are probably pretty far. I think it's going to be 2 or 3 years. But
well,
you know better than I, so.
The only reason I say 5 to 10 is that the insurance industry seems to be very, very slow compared to the other industries in making these advances. We as agents are slow. We're not fast-moving. The fast-moving agents are already on ASP models and terminal servers. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But most agents are not. They're busy trying to service their customers, and they're not thinking about automation. They get pushed into it from the outside. The outside is either the insurance company and sometimes more expensive systems into our hands, where our goal is a win-win scenario for everybody. For the carriers, we can create direct, efficient, interactive systems with the clients. For the agents, we're looking to reduce our own overhead and cultivate effective personalized relationships. Consider for a moment that if we had less people in our shop and everyone in our agencies dealt with the customer instead of dealing with paper, how much more efficient would we be? How much work would we drop to the bottom line?
Change the whole industry.
Absolutely. And finally, for the clients, they're used to dealing with travel now and dealing with banking now. They're used to going to their computers, going direct, and getting service. Well, they want that same service, and from their insurance agents or insurance companies, they really don't care which. If we provide them value-added professional advice, they'll keep us as agents. If we don't, if all we are is a processing shop, why don't they deal with the gecko?
Amen. Great point.
So there's our goals. The company service centers, you probably are aware, or most people who read the pipeline are aware, I'm not a great fan of company service centers.
I think I clicked onto that one time.
They primarily, they take the relationship away from the agent. Standpoint, for the insurance companies, the company service centers is a step in the right direction. The downside for the clients is that the more carriers they deal with have their insurance products, life and health, personal lines, commercial lines, all of these with different insurance companies, they're going to have to deal with different insurance companies online. We give them the greatest advantage they can get, an independent agent who can coordinate all of their insurance with all of their carriers and make sure that they leave no gaps.
Got it. But that's, boy, these are important. Al, you know what you're saying? I'm sorry to interrupt, but you're hitting home so strongly. I hope I can get this in the hands
quickly, within their tactical plan for 2008, if not 2008, absolutely in 2009. Otherwise, they're behind the 8 ball. So, the solution. The first thing you really need to do is monitor everything that we do. If you have the ability to download or upload to your carriers, please use it. If you don't, if portal, not a company portal, with direct access to accounts with each company, like policy changes, claims history, payment status, whatever they can do directly, especially if you're using one of the 3 or 4 or 5 major vendors. We have portals available, not we agency consulting group, but we, the industry, have portals available that you can do the same thing they can. Why would you want to do it instead of them? Because you want to remain the focal point of attention. Things are changing. We have 2 choices. We either ride the wave or we fight the tide. Have you ever stood up in front of a tide and tried to hold back the waves?
I don't.
As it says on the screen, you can be the big Canute or the big Kahuna. I'm not sure which you would rather be, but I know I want to ride the wave.
Go ahead, excuse me.
There are some other things, some action steps that you can do. And I truly invite phone calls from any agents who are hearing this, either immediately or anytime in the future. We'll help you in any way we can. Number 1, investigate the ASP models of your agency management systems. Move into them as soon as they are reasonably accurate. Right now, each of them have their own little quirks and problems as they try and get a programmer or a fixer of computers. You came in to be able to deal with clients for all their insurance needs. Get out of the automation business. The next thing, and we have this available through our facilities if you're interested, investigate terminal services. This is a method by which the agency itself can become the portal through your agency management systems. And you can make your website totally interactive. Make requested changes through your website to you, and it doesn't eliminate the agent from the process, and that's what we're trying to keep going. Those are the 2 things that I really would like you to concentrate on in the near term. And if you need help, we're here. There's our email address, our website, and George is a wealth of knowledge, and he can help you with many, many things beyond what we can help you with.
Well, I appreciate that. I don't know, but I special effort to get this in the hands of as many agents as possible. This is perhaps one of the most meaningful interviews ever, and I want to thank you again for everything you do for the agency.
It's my pleasure, George, and anything we can do to disseminate this information